When you rewind and examine what the Indiana Fever have endured this season, it's almost surreal that we're even having this conversation. The so-called season from hell, plagued with injuries, doubters, and relentless criticism, somehow turned into a story no one saw coming. No one expected the Fever to be in this position, battling in a tight Game 3 with the entire league watching in disbelief. But here's where it gets crazier. Caitlin Clark has flipped the narrative entirely. A source from within the Fever camp has confirmed that Clark is now 100% healed from her groin injury. Let that sink in. Not only is she healthy, but she's also suiting up for the WNBA Finals. Yes, you heard it right. She's back. This changes everything. Her return doesn't just boost the Fever. It shakes the very core of the WNBA. This is the kind of development that sends ripple effects through locker rooms, coaching staffs, and rival fan bases alike. If you're coaching the Indiana Fever, the decision to bring Clark back might seem risky. But when a player has the game-changing ability she does, you take that chance. Clark is the type of athlete who can be silent for long stretches, then explode with 4 three-pointers in mere minutes, turning a close contest into a blowout. She's not just a shooter. She's a momentum shifter. When she's on the floor, the game bends in her direction. And what the Fever managed to do in her absence might be just as impressive. They held their ground. Aaliyah Boston transformed into a dominant interior presence, reminding everyone of her South Carolina days. Kelsey Money Mitchell came alive in clutch moments, proving once again she's not to be overlooked. And Odyssey Sims? She became the heartbeat of this playoff run, providing veteran calm and making all the right hustle plays, the kind that don't show up in the box score but win games. Suddenly, this team that wasn't even supposed to sniff the playoffs finds itself playing for a championship, and now they're getting their superstar back. That alone is historic, but it's more than just a feel-good story. Clark's return is a tactical earthquake. The same media voices who declared her season over are now scrambling to pivot, and the critics who scoffed when she limped off the court are being forced to eat their words. Her presence alone is enough to change the entire game plan. Before her injury, the Fever weren't just making noise, they were commanding attention. Sellouts, massive viewership spikes, national debate shows leading with WNBA highlights. Clark was driving all of it. Her deep range forces defenses to stretch to unnatural limits. Her court vision unlocks offensive opportunities that don't exist with ordinary guards. And most importantly, her swagger injects confidence into every teammate on the floor. Her return means all of that is back. The haters who doubted her toughness, questioned her playoff readiness, and dismissed her as overhyped are now watching the script flip in real time. And just when Vegas and New York thought they'd gotten lucky, maybe even let out a sigh of relief, Indiana goes and pulls the ultimate power move. Those so-called super teams now have to face a Fever squad that's both battle-tested and newly reloaded. Clark doesn't have to be at 100% to affect the game. Even at 70 or 80%, her mere presence alters defensive rotations. Opponents can't help off her. They can't crowd the paint without giving her space. And if they double-team Boston or Mitchell, they risk leaving Clark wide open. It's a tactical nightmare with no clean solution. That psychological edge is real. Rival teams had mentally moved on from Clark. They were preparing for Indiana minus their biggest threat. But now, the one player who redefines the entire geometry of the court is suddenly back in the mix. That's demoralizing, and it's exactly what Indiana planned. Let's not overlook the genius of their strategy. While most teams maxed out their playoff rosters, the Fever left one slot open. People assumed it was due to injury or depth issues, but now it's clear it was a calculated move. That empty slot gave them flexibility to bring Clark back when the moment was right. And under league rules, players under contract who are inactive due to injury can be reactivated if a spot is available. Clark wasn't some free agent miracle. She was always part of the team, quietly waiting on the inactive list. Indiana's front office played this brilliantly. Let the noise swirl, let the speculation grow, then drop the bombshell right before the finals. That's not just roster management. That's Hollywood buzzing-level showmanship. Now, is there risk? Of course. Groin injuries are tricky and can flare up with minimal warning. But the Fever are betting that even a 70% Clark is worth the gamble. She commands respect like few in the league ever have. Put her out there on one leg and defenders will still pick her up 25 feet from the hoop. That kind of gravity changes everything. And let's not pretend the WNBA office isn't thrilled. Clark in the finals isn't just a boost, it's a ratings bonanza. The league knows this. The media knows this. Every major network is adjusting schedules and prepping storylines. Clark coming back isn't just about basketball. It's business, buzz, branding, and boldness. Her practice clips are going viral. Her return is outshining entire playoff series. And whether you love her or love to hate her, you can't ignore her. For a league starving for mainstream attention, Clark is a gift they couldn't manufacture. But it's not all fairy tales. The way certain league figures have handled the Clark narrative says a lot. Coaches praising her have faced fines or whispers of consequences. Some believe her rising profile threatens the old guard. But here's the truth. Clark isn't just big for the WNBA. She's redefining it. And that makes some people deeply uncomfortable. Still, the Fever don't care about egos or league politics. They care about championships. And now, with Clark back, their title chances just skyrocketed. Boston gets more room to operate. Mitchell gets better looks. Sims has more energy to hound ball handlers. Even players like Sophie Cunningham become instant X factors because you simply can't cover everyone. That's the terror Clark brings. The Fever proved they could survive without her. Now they're thriving with her. And that's sending rival coaches into full panic mode. Critics have run out of excuses. They said she was media hype. They said she wouldn't last in the pros. They cheered when she got hurt. But now, in only her second year, she's not just returning. She's returning in the finals. Not as a decoy. Not as a bench piece. As a weapon. A threat. A difference maker. The irony is too perfect. The same analysts who mocked her are now forced to break down how she might decide a championship series. Indiana fans are already pulling receipts and replaying clips. But beyond the noise, this is a story about timing. Finals basketball isn't about cute stat lines. It's about delivering in the moment. And Clark has done that her entire career. From packed college arenas to national title games. She's been under pressure since day one. This stage won't shake her, it'll fuel her. Even if she plays 18 to 20 minutes, even if she doesn't drop 30, her very existence on the court changes every matchup. That's the kind of impact money can't buy. Networks are foaming at the mouth. Fans who ignored the regular season are tuning in now. This is bigger than a game, it's a cultural moment. And what truly stings for the haters? Her return isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving Indiana right. They believed when no one else did. They gambled not on hype but on greatness. And now they're watching the payoff in real time. Yes, there's pressure. Yes, there's risk. If she looks rusty, if she aggravates the injury, the backlash will be merciless. But that's what makes this bold. Indiana could have played it safe. Instead, they made a statement. We're not just here to participate. We're here to win. And we're bringing back our best to do it. That courage, that confidence, it defines this new era of the Fever. They've evolved from the laughingstock of the league to the most compelling story in sports. They don't just belong, they're building a legacy. And if Clark helps them raise that trophy, that moment becomes instant legend. Not just for her, but for women's basketball as a whole. Because this isn't about headlines or jersey sales anymore. This is about rewriting history with a pen dipped in belief, grit, and Hollywood buzzing.